This lecture also is very important. Okay? We will be dealing with one of the major issues in the Bible, by way of comparing first two chapters of the Bible and the last two chapters of the Bible. Because the first two chapters of the Bible are dealing with eternity. Okay? And chapter 3 starts the time world, the fall of Adam. Chapter 3, all the way to chapter 20, that is a judgment. Are you with me? Okay. So the two chapters here and last two chapters here should be identical. It should be identical. Because, after the finishing up this creation purpose school, then we all go back to eternity. No more school. But as we look at the Bible much in detail, we will come up with some questions with respect to the first two chapters of Genesis and the last two chapters of Revelations are a bit different. Then we will see how different. I haven't got enough room, but you have to write down all information right here, okay? Now here. You see here, listen to me carefully, one by one, okay? In Genesis 1:1, says this: Elohim God created heavens and earth. As you can see, it's a plural, heavens. That means He created second heaven and the first heaven. Because third heaven already existed. Okay? Because they dwelled before the creation, they dwelled in the third heaven. So here, prior to Genesis 1:1, third heaven was already existed. Now, in verse 1, He created second heaven and the first heaven. And also earth. You see, earth. That is a very important part, earth. Earth means this our planet Earth. This is this is a star, one of the stars in the universe, okay? So He created this earth in the beginning, along with first and second heaven. See, make sure that He did not create suns and moons and all other stars at the time. Write it down then. Only nothing but earth. This earth. Because this earth is the very first, planet. See, remaining stars and moons and suns were created at the number 4th day. Number 4. Far later. Okay? So our planet Earth is why He created our planet Earth, okay, in the first, prior to creating all other stars, because this planet Earth, okay, in God's mind was designed as the center of the universe. Center of the universe. Okay? Center of the universe. So, because this earth is the center of the universe, God, He created God's people in this earth. In this earth. Not other stars, other universe. So this earth is the center of the universe. Are you with me? Okay. Now, that's the first concept. Now, second concept is another significant issue. Now, you see, we assume that in God created angel in the first one. Angel. So how do we know? You know the Job 38 verses 1 to 7. We can see angelic forces were created when God created the foundation of this world, foundation of this earth, according to Job 38, verse 1 through 7, especially verse 4. Not only that, fall of angel took place here in verse 1. In Genesis, I'm talking about 1:1. Within 1:1, creation of angel and fall of angel all took place. Okay? Write that down. Okay? Then I'll tell you why. Not only that, when He created this planet Earth, okay, it's very interesting. He also created hell inside of the planet Earth. That's a hell. All happened in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Let me repeat again. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, number 1 is, He created first and second heaven. Okay? And second part, He created earth, planet Earth. Only planet Earth, not other stars. Okay? Now, thirdly, within the earth, okay, at the bottom of the earth, deep inside, He created hell. Are you with me? Then He created angel. And angel got fallen. All happened in verse 1. Got it? Then how do we know, Pastor Hua? Because verse 2 says so. Verse 2. See here in Genesis 1 verse 2. Genesis verse 2 said, verse 2, okay, said this. Oh, this first and second heaven was darkened. And even this planet Earth was darkened by the satanic forces. That teaches us that, the fall of angel had taken place prior to that, verse 2. Okay? And the deep inside, a deep, you see, the hell in verse 2 said at the deep. And then in verse 2 said, there was a deep, and not only that, evil spirit and the Holy Spirit dwelt together, hovering around. In verse 2, see, Holy Spirit and evil spirit hovering together, described in verse 2. That indicates Satan and his satanic forces already existed in verse 2. Okay? Our question is this. Write down, our question is this. Why those satanic forces and Satan's subordinates, Satan's followers existed even before the creation of Adam? It was before the creation of Adam. Adam creation was about here. Okay? That's why when Adam was in the Garden of Eden, Satan was there along with him. They lived together. Then our question is this. Why God let Satan dwell together with Holy Spirit and God's children? Why God did not send Satan and satanic forces down to the hell immediately, because hell was prepared already in verse 1. Upon the fall of Satan, okay, why God did not put him into the hell right away? Instead of after the fall of Adam and spent 7,000 years as the king of this world, he got very high position. Then at the end of 7,000 years, finally, on the day of judgment, finally here, God put Satan into the lake of fire. It's a long time later, finally, God put him into the lake of fire and all his followers. So that is our question. Why in Genesis 1:1, God created hell and even let the Satan fallen, and Satan and his followers had dwelled all the way up until the judgment time. Now, we will see later, when it comes to the new heavens and earth, and New Jerusalem, no more Satan. No Satan. No Satan. Then our answer is this. Oh, Satan was created by God in order for God's children to learn, to be educated, the purpose of creation. During these 7,000 years, as the vice president and bad teachers That was God's design. Okay? Now, I told you in the Genesis chapter 1, there are days. First day, second day, third days. Okay? Would you write down? I'll give you information there. That on the first day, you see that those days are not 24 hours current time day. It's not. Would you write it down? That's not the 24 hours time date like today. Because those 24 hours time day, it's right here in this world, a time world. But now we're talking about this eternity. Eternity. A different way of calculation of day. Now, Jesus said, you see here, first day, there was the light. Light appears. First day. What is the light? It's not a sunlight. Why? Number 4 days, sun appears. So this light is not sunlight. Okay? This light is the glory of God. It's a glory of God. That means this light in John chapter 1 says this is Jesus is the true light. Jesus is light in John chapter 1. Chapter 1, okay? So Jesus is light. Now, first day, Jesus appeared as the light. Now, at the same time, satanic forces also dwell together. Write that down. Satanic forces dwell together. So there were 2 forces, Jesus, Holy Spirit, Jesus and Holy Spirit, and Satan and evil forces together. Okay, in the first day. Are you with me? Then he said this is important part here. Then he said this, night comes first, then day appears. The night, evening comes, and morning appears. It's very interesting because in a Jewish calendar system, remember that? Day starts when? 6 p.m. The night is starting first. Then at dawn, light appears. Which tells us this. Night comes means evil spirit, satanic forces will be in dominant. Then Jesus will cast the darkness away, becomes in the morning. So 2 spirits works along with together. Which one comes first? Evil, not light. Evil forces appears first. They are dominant forces. Then the light, day will come, casting away evil forces. Then the second day it comes together. Second day, it also evil forces takes over, then Holy Spirit casting away. So it's night and day, that's the first day. And the second day also, night and day, like that. Are you with me? Okay. So we do not know how long, because we're talking about the eternity. Okay. We do not know how long. So it's not 24 hours concept. Now, on the sixth day, later part of sixth day, Adam was created. Adam was created. Now, Bible said Adam lived in Eden. Eden. Adam lived in Eden. Eden means it's a joyful place. That means joyful. Eden means joyful place. Okay. Now, also in the Eden, there was the Garden of Eden. There are two, the Eden and Garden of Eden, and also at the center of the Garden of Eden. There's 3 different locations: Eden and Garden of Eden and center of the Garden of Eden. Now, we will study that later. Okay, now here again, this Eden and Garden of Eden and center of the Eden was created before the fall. This is a very important concept here. Before the fall, in eternity. Okay, before the fall. Now, after the fall, you see, after the fall over here, after the fall, this is a 4114 BC. After the fall, we assume this Eden, Garden of Eden, and center of Eden, okay, all planet Earth, this is planet Earth, this planet Earth. After the fall, we assume that was changed by way of, I would say, earthquakes or climate changes and natural disasters. Because this earth was dropped down to time world from eternal world. This is a very important concept here. Therefore, original Eden and Garden of Eden and center of Garden of Eden should be shifted or deformed. Shifted or deformed in a different shape. You got it? You write down all this information. You have to teach. You are teachers. Should be deformed. Not only that, later, in 2500 BC, That's a Noah's flood. Noah's flood. Noah's flood caused another breaking down, another shifting the land to, I would say, today's existing shape. Far away from original shape. Far away from original shape. So now, today, we cannot see original Garden of Eden and center of the Garden of Eden. We cannot see. Now, here later, John saw here in Revelation 21:22, John saw this original Eden, Garden of Eden, and center of the Garden of Eden was reappeared in Revelation 21:22. Now, it reappeared. Okay? Are you coming along with me? Okay, reappeared. Then John saw that. He saw this. He saw new heavens. You know, that means what? New heavens means new heavens, newly redesigned. In other words, that original first and second heaven. Okay, he said it's a new heavens and a new heavens and new earth. So, in other words, that this original planet Earth was redeveloped, rebirth. Okay, he saw that prior to the fall of Adam. It's a recreation of that original. And also he said, I saw New Jerusalem. He said that. New Jerusalem. It's not a Jerusalem. New Jerusalem. In other words, that old Jerusalem should be prior to the fall of Adam. Okay? So old Jerusalem should be Genesis 1 and 2 time. Okay? Then our question is, what is Old Jerusalem? Old Jerusalem. I would say Old Jerusalem. You would see this. Then John saw, I saw New Jerusalem, and he's described here in Revelation chapter 21:16. That New Jerusalem has a cubic distance, size is huge. He said it's in our on our metric system, 2,400 kilometers wide, height, and depth. Cubic, okay? 2,000 kilometers width, 2,000 kilometers, it's height. So it's a square and height above 2. Got it? That's a huge city. Very big. Then we are assuming this. Wow. Are you coming along with me? Come over here. Look at this map, because this map is important part here. Now, over here is Jerusalem. Jerusalem. You see, now, from Jerusalem, this is Israel. Okay? Now, we are talking about New Jerusalem. This is all Jerusalem. Jerusalem here. So this, considering this is a center, okay, center, then God will rebuild New Jerusalem that size. That means out of here, around this much, 2,400 kilo, and over here 2,400 kilometers, and height. Okay? So God is going to make a new Jerusalem centered, this is Jerusalem here. Now, let me say again. That means, when this time comes, God is going to, we're just assuming that, this Middle Eastern area, okay, must be the original Eden area. Original. Because of the restructuring by earthquake, now today's Middle Eastern area got shifted, okay? But when Jesus is going to restructuring to the original, then this Middle Eastern area will be reshaped. With the center, now, the Eden, we're talking about Eden, see, Eden should be today's Israel. This is Canaan. Today's Canaan, land of Canaan, this Canaan, okay, should be Eden. And also, you see, a garden of Eden. Garden of Eden should be today's Jerusalem. And also the center of the Garden of Eden. The center of the Garden of Eden will be, it's Mount Moriah. That the center of the Garden of Eden was the place. This is the place, the center of the Garden of Eden. It is instead of Mount Moriah, and before the fall, that was the place before the fall. Center of the Garden of Eden. Write down first. The tree of life. Remember? Tree of life was planted. tree of life was planted in the center of Garden of Eden. Number 2, before the fall, original. And also tree of the knowledge of the good and evil. Remember? Tree of the knowledge of and good and evil was planted right here in the center. And we are assuming this is the place where Adam and his wife created. Adam and his wife created that place. Not only that, this is the place Adam and his wife fallen. That place. Okay? So this is where Jesus be crucified. This is the exact place Jesus will be crucified. That's the center of the Garden of Eden. So it's a center of the Mount Moriah. Then this is the place later, the Holy of Holies in the temple. In the temple, a tabernacle. Inside of temple and tabernacle, Holy of Holy place. Remember that? That place. So in other words, that is the place that the Ark of Covenant locates. The Ark of Covenant. So Israelites, the high priest went into the Holy of Holies and he sprinkled the blood. Remember that? That signifies the crucifixion of Jesus. So this is the place where Adam lost eternity. But also, this is the place, because of Jesus, then we all, God's children, will regain the eternity. This is the place. This is the place where Adam cursed. This is the place Adam received the blessings. This is the place Adam cursed. This is the place we, God's children, will receive back the blessings out of Jesus. This is the place where Adam had received the blessings. Also, he lost the blessings and received the curses. Later, because of Jesus' death, we Christians will receive the blessings back. The center of the garden. So let me repeat again. Out of the New Jerusalem, we assume that this Middle Eastern area, center is Jerusalem. Okay, we're restructured later in Revelation 21 and 22? So that's why today's Israel is becoming our focus. But see, the land of Israel, with this implications, is very, very important place for us to remember. Okay? So now let me say again here, how are Genesis 1 and 2 and Revelation 21, 22 different? No Satan, okay, in the Revelation now. But with Satan, why no Satan? Why God did not remove the Satan in the beginning? Because it was his design to establish 7,000 years purpose of creation school. 7,000 years. So it was God's design to use Satan and Satan children as a vice principal and bad teachers, okay, to teach God's children, to teach what? How important the creation purpose. How important the creation purpose. That is a key message that I'm going to deliver to you. Okay? So now, sooner or later, when at the end of the school, 7,000 years, and on the judgment day, these satanic forces will be in the lake of fire. Then, finally, new heavens and earth, New Jerusalem will emerge, will be emerged. Thinking that today's Middle Eastern area will turn back to original stage, centered with its Jerusalem, thinking that it's center of the Garden of Eden. Okay, Jerusalem is Garden of Eden, or Eden. We're talking about. I put down here. Eden is Canaan. Okay? Now, Garden of Eden is Jerusalem. And center of the Garden of Eden is the place where tree of life. Okay? Tree of knowledge and good and evil. The place where Adam created. Place where Adam fallen. That's the place where Jesus died on the cross. We will study it later. Later, I will give you more detail on this. Okay? And this is the place where the Holy of Holies with the Ark of Covenant locate. All this. Are you okay? Yes, sir. Huh? It's a little bit difficult, but you are able to understand all this. Okay? Let's take a break.